Well, tonight I'm in at Bannerman's tonight seeing Joey Witt. He's an American singer-songwriter, and he's here playing in Bannerman's in Edinburgh. Hello, how you doing today,
very
Joey?
well, very well.
Very well.
Thank you for coming out.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Can you tell me a wee bit about yourself and how you formed the band, the Joey Witt and the Definition?
Absolutely, I sure can. So, I've owned guitars pretty much my entire life. My entire family seems to have something to do with music, except for my two parents. They love rock and roll. They love music. They don't necessarily play, but they're big supporters and big fans of music, and very encouraging towards my sister and myself. My sister's a wonderful singer. And I was an athlete prior to getting into music full time. And once the athletic career ended, I played baseball in the States. I kind of pursued music and started writing songs, and sort of as an outlet, just a creative outlet, and then kind of snowballed into something bigger than I kind of ever imagined. If you told me 6 years ago I'd be sitting in Scotland speaking with you right now, I probably would have laughed at that and been like, no way, that's possible. And you kind of manifest these things, or you work hard towards them, and keep dreaming. I think that's the biggest thing, is you just kind of keep dreaming, and this is what I want to do. I want to be on the road. I want to be playing shows, meeting people like yourself, and seeing the new cities around the world is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, I walked down the road today just taking it all in, and it's just a beautiful city we're in here right now. It's amazing.
This is your second time in Edinburgh?
This is my first time in Scotland ever.
First time in Scotland?
First time in Scotland ever. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's a wonderful, beautiful place.
So as I say, you're over here doing a few dates in England and here in Edinburgh. How's the start of the tour going so far for you?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So I'm playing with a rhythm section of two of my friends from down in England, and we had never played together before in as Joey Witt and the Definition. So it was really fun. The music's, it takes on a new life when you bring in new people. So the Definition is certainly more of a collective. My lead guitar player, Clay Selmont, he flies in tomorrow. So he's going to be here for the back half of the tour, and that'll be really fun. He's usually always with me. He's the mainstay in the studio and live. But we have some guys that we play with back home in the States that are, regular chairs, as we'd say. But when we come over here, we were thinking, it'd be nice to play with some of our buddies from the UK. And so we worked it out to where they could get the time off and come on the tour, and we're having an absolute blast. I don't think we've stopped laughing since I landed. We've just been having a great time.
That can only be a good thing. You might end up immigrating to Scotland, maybe.
That's right. That's right.
You were a professional baseball player as well before you suffered a very bad injury before turning your skills to music. Do you miss not playing? It's baseball you played.
Yeah, I miss baseball. It was what I did my entire life since I was 5 years old. I had been working to become a professional baseball player. There was no doubt in my mind that I would do that. I just was obsessed with the game, like absolutely just mad for baseball. And when I signed my professional contract after college, it was a pretty injury-plagued couple of years. I unfortunately got a concussion, and then another one shortly after that, after I healed up from the first one, and that kind of shelved me. And I tried to hang around a little bit, and it just wasn't working out. And unfortunately, I had to hang up my cleats, my spikes, or my boots, right? That's what we say here, hang up my boots. Yeah. So I tried coaching and trying to stay in the game and trying to give back to the game, but it just wasn't a good fit for me. I still struggled with being around it, but not being able to play the game. It was really hard for me. I miss it very, very much, but I'm also quite past it. Like I understand where I'm at and where I'm supposed to be, and everything happens for a reason, that famous quote, and I think it does. I think I'm supposed to be writing songs and writing these songs and playing music with these people, and it's just been absolutely
How did you manage
wonderful.
to cope through that time then, through your injury?
Yeah, it was really hard. To be completely transparent, yeah, it was very tough. It's an emotional roller coaster when you're getting, especially with concussions, because it does change your chemistry a little bit and impacts your life. It's not a positive thing, but it can be a positive thing in the long run. In the short term, you're wondering, why did this happen to me? This was my entire life. Very upset, very emotional. But now I think it was probably the best thing that could have happened, because I get to do this and play music and kind of tell my story, and be encouraging to people to take a leap, take a risk. This is some people would probably think this is absolutely crazy to fly around the world playing original music these days, but I believe in it. I love this art form more than anything in the world, except for my dogs. I love my dog. I got two
I'm the
German
same as
Shepherds.
well.
I love
I've
my
got two dogs as
I
well.
love my dog. But you know, this is what I've decided to do with my life, and I couldn't be happier doing it.
You released a debut single as well, Reconsider, in 2020, as well as Leave It To Me, followed by your debut Eastern Standard. How well was it received in the States, and do you find audiences different in the States than in the UK?
Yeah, so we put Reconsider out in January of 2020, and I don't think anybody realized what was going to happen that year. So we were working on the record, trying to finish it up, and going to put it out, and then hit the road and like really go for it. So we put the single out, getting ready to put the rest of the record out, and everything just shuts down. So we couldn't mix it, we couldn't master it, we couldn't do anything. We were just sitting around going, what the hell are we doing? We can't. We've got this finished record. We can't play shows. We can't even go to the studio right now. Everything was locked down and shut down. So finally, as things started loosening up, I kind of just tried keeping the faith. And when when everything shut down, I wrote the second record that's going to come out this year. I just kept working at it, because I was like, I'm not going to let this distract things or detour me from chasing this dream or going after this. So I wrote another record, waited to put the Eastern Standard record out, and I think we finally got it out in December of 2020, which to anybody who was making art during that time or creating during that time, it was unbelievably difficult seas to navigate. Like it was just uncharted territory. All the artists were wondering, I mean, people had to cancel tours. Thank God we didn't have anything booked, because I don't know if you could bounce back. It's very tough to bounce back from that at our level, where we're still trying to make a name for ourselves. And as soon as you can't necessarily predict the future. Are you going to be able to go back on the road 2 years later? Who knows? So we didn't have anything booked, but we finished that first record. We put it out. It was unbelievable. I remember getting texts and phone calls, people saying, "Hey, you're on the radio right now," and I was like, "What the heck? No way!" And sure enough, I have the first text message. Somebody I barely knew, and they were like, "Hey, your song sounds great on the radio right now." So he told me what station it was on, and I put it on. It was like that moment that
it's just gonna be goosebumps.
It doesn't even feel like it's you listening. You're like sitting in your car. I was driving down the highway in the States, in New England, in the United States, and I remember going, "This sounds massive. This is amazing. What's bigger than this? This is an unbelievable thing." And then a few other songs got on the radio, and very grateful for the independent radio community in my home state of Connecticut. They really do an amazing job just taking care of local artists and all that, and they really just pushed it out there, and we had some radio play over here. It really just, it's the fact that there's so many people that are willing to take the time and listen and respond and promote our music just really is the most humbling thing imaginable.
I find that as well.
Yeah,
actually,
it's
absolutely
absolutely humbling.
Unsigned artists, it can be a real battle for them to get radio play.
Definitely, and I think you just kind of got to keep going and keep pushing it, because there is peaks and valleys to this where you feel like that you're on top of the world all of a sudden, and then maybe you can't get a gig, or you're not booked, or somebody just doesn't have time for you, and you got to compartmentalize that and be like, okay, that didn't work out. Which avenue are we going to go down to make something happen here? And as long as you're willing and you keep writing and playing and putting things out there, I think we can keep this beautiful art form alive, and that's really important to me.
Your parents are heavily into rock and roll as well, and they like, obviously, Elvis and Jimi Hendrix to the Stones. What is your creative background into songwriting?
Yeah, I will never forget the first time my dad showed me the Beatles. And John Lennon is my personal favorite Beatle. I mean, I love Paul and George and Ringo as well, but for me, there's something about the way that John wrote that just connected to me. And his turn of phrase, the way he would put words together, it's just like a spiritual thing for me listening to that band play. So when I was a little kid, my dad called me upstairs, and I don't know what year it was, must have been 93, 94, and the Beatles anthology had just come out, the film, and there's a scene in that when they start playing Revolution, the promo video for Revolution, and they're wearing sweaters, and John's got like a vest like this on. He's got his Epiphone Casino, and Paul got his bass, and they looked so cool. And they hit that first chord, and I went, "That's it. That's what that sounds right. That's what I hear. Like, I love that." And through them, I guess that really kicked things off musically for me. Yeah, my parents were heavily influential in my record collection. I probably caught a little bit of hell for my musical tastes back when I was a kid. I don't catch much hell for it anymore, but I was really into guitars and analog recording, and that's how we still record everything analog. We don't use the digital stuff, or not that there's anything wrong with that either, but we still like to pay tribute to those artists from the heyday of rock and roll, like recording the way they did and learning how to use the studio as a tool. But my parents were super influential in getting me into the Stones and the Beatles and Badfinger, Led Zeppelin. I love Elton John as well. Obviously Elvis, Roy Orbison. Just that music was there was so much good stuff on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean in those days and I probably lean a little bit more towards the United Kingdom as far as my musical tastes go, because I love a band out of Manchester called Doves. The Zootons out of Liverpool, Radiohead, or they're from Oxford, I think. Goodness gracious, there's just so many good bands and artists that have come from this area that I think that's why I love coming here so much, is because I feel genuinely at home with my kind of people like yourself, Hugh downstairs, and it's just really nice to feel so welcome when you're 3,000 something miles away from home and you feel like you're with your friends.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. So Hugh Reid tonight, I'll just touch on that.
Yeah.
While you were heading into Bannerman's and noticed a big pair of boxing gloves.
I did, yeah.
Were you thinking, is this music or is this something else?
So I love playing with bands that are nothing like what we do. And it just makes me so happy to see like other people, or what they see or what they imagine in their head, they can go and execute that. I absolutely love it. So when I walked in and I saw the props and all these things, and I spoke with Hugh, and he's a beautiful human being, what a nice guy. I was like, can you leave some of that on stage for when we play? Because I want the footage of these boxing gloves while we're playing. And he's like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. I was like, yes, please do. That'll be amazing. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. We've been speaking for the last couple of weeks in preparation for the show tonight. So I'm really excited. I love making connections with other bands and artists in other parts of the world.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
Where can, and if anybody wants to search for your music, where can we find you? And all these networks, as well as social networks, as well as Spotify.
Yeah. So Spotify, there's Joey Wit and there's Joey Wit in the Definition. There's two different Spotifys. The first record is under Joey Wit and the Definition on Spotify. The new record is just under Joey Wit, or will be under Joey Wit. There's one single out off that record so far. Another one's coming at the end of the month, though. April 26th, I think it comes out. It's called Borrowed Time. As far as social medias go, Instagram and Facebook. I don't do Twitter, but if you go on Instagram, it is at Joey_Wit. And then on Facebook, the page is Joey Wit and the Definition.
So you've got quite a few more dates left to do before you go back to the States again. Is there any other cities that you're looking forward to visiting in your time where you're over in England and Scotland?
Yeah, I'm hoping next time we come over, we can do a little bit more up here in Scotland, because I've been dying to visit for so long, and I haven't gotten to experience too much, but except for Edinburgh. And it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I wish we can kind of explore a little bit more and check out some of the other places. And I love golf too, so I know it's the mecca for golf, right? So hopefully next time I can bring my clubs with me and my guitar, right?
But, you go down to Gillen.
yeah. And then, so we head back down south, and we're playing in Salford, Greater Manchester, Stockport. We go out east to Cleethorpes, and then we finish up in Liverpool. I just love the northwest of England. Some of my best friends in the world live on Merseyside, and it's, being a massive Beatles fan, it feels like, I'd imagine some people feel going to Rome. It's an amazing place.
You're playing in Liverpool as well.
Oh yeah, we're playing at the Liverpool Arts Bar on Hope Street in Liverpool, and that's going to be the last full band date, and then I'm doing an acoustic show at the Wharf in Macclesfield right before I fly back, and then I have one show in kind of a hometown show in Connecticut with the boys back home, and that's in New Haven, Connecticut, USA. But really looking forward to getting down to the Manchester area and Liverpool, and just there's so many good bands that have come out of there, and it's just the people are so wonderful, so beautiful, so welcoming. So I'm really excited to be there.
Well, thanks very much, Joey, for your time. I look forward to your set.
Thank you.
When you go on stage, and hopefully you'll not be knocked out by the performances you read in the Velvet Underpants.
That's right. Thank you so much, Mark.
It's a pleasure.